All right, guys, Craig Mack, and I'm back for episode number 2 of the pregame podcast. This week, as we await for tournament results to update on EDH Top 16, we're going to be looking at Baked Ziti 3 from the previous week, 2 of the decks from the top 4, and we're going to be looking at Punt City 5, 2 of the top decks that we know made top 4, and 1 that was top place in Swiss. Then we'll be digging into Marvel superheroes and cards that will impact cEDH and cards that might just squeak in. We had a ton dropped last week. The set looks great for cEDH, looks great for Magic, so I'm really excited to look at some of those. Then we'll be discussing the Siege 10K in top Colorado and why you should sign up right now if you haven't, if you want to go to that, and what's coming up next for me. So let's jump right into it, guys, and see what's going on. All right, so the first event we're going to take a look at is Baked Ziti 3. It happened on May 30th, 2026. Had 108 players. That's a great turnout for this neck of the woods. It had some great players there. We had Tim Tarantino himself topping it with the Tali. That's Gold Sabertooth. Rick Bulson on Arkham Dagsum in second place. Alan Barnabo on Heliod, Radiant Dawn, and Clorox Mox on Kinnan Botter Prodigy. There were also some other great players playing in the event here. We had Corwin Caster from Monolith on Rog Ishai. One of my top dogs, Scoop Phase on Rog Silas. All right, so let's take a look at the metagame breakdown for Baked Ziti 3. We had Kinnan Botter Prodigy with top cuts 2, entries 8, and conversion rate of 25%. Rog Thras matched that with 2 top cuts, 8 entries, and a 25% conversion rate. Dargo Timna, 1 top cuts, entries for a 16% conversion rate. Issei, top cuts 1, entries 6, conversion rate 16%. Rog Silas, top cut 1, entries 6, conversion rate of 16%. Atali, top cuts 1, entries 4, conversion rate 25%. Arkham Dagsum, with the top cut 1, 3 entries, and a conversion rate of 33%. We'll need to start respecting Arkham. We had Rog Ishai with the top cut of 1, 3 entries, a 33% conversion rate. So it looks like the metagame at Baked Ziti 3 was wide open, just like cEDH right now. There's tons of different decks you can play for any style you want to play. There's Control, there's Mid-Range, there's Slop, there's Turbo, there's Stacks, there's Creature-based combos, there's Breach, there's Oracle. I do think Arkham Dagsum is a deck to watch. If you don't know how to play against Arkham Dagsum, it's one of those decks that when that commander comes down, you have to kill it immediately, bounce it immediately. It gets 1 activation. There's only 2 options here. You lose the game, or 2, you're screwed out of the game with a God's Pharaoh statue or something like that. Arkham Dagsum is one of those kill on sight commanders just like Raul. Let's take a look at some of the decks. All right, so the first deck we're going to take a look at is Gold Sabertooth. He was the winner of the event on Atali. Is a deck, if you've never played it before, never played against it before, if you're new to cEDH, you count to 7, you cast your commander, you flip cards off every hit a non-land card, you can cast that spell for free. So if there's no Risic Study down, there's no Mystic Remore down, this is pretty devastating. These come out, you hit all the clone effects that are in all these decks, all these slop decks, the Clever Impersonators, the Pyrexian Metamorphs, all these things, you Atali go again. The tutors to put cards on top of their libraries. So if you can clone your own Atali, which we'll get to in a second, you can start flipping those. 3 mana that comes off the top of the libraries. All these things are you're looking to hit, right? All right, so 7 mana is a lot. How do you get to 7 mana so quickly? There's multiple ways in this deck. We play all of the red rituals, the Rite of Flames, the Seething Songs, the Pyretic Rituals. We have Tinder Walls. We have Orcish Lumberjacks, Delighted Halfling, Birds of Paradise. Just tons of way to produce mana. Looking to get a Treasonous Ogre out on turn 1 or turn 2. Pay 21 life, you get your big dino. You'll have extra red mana if you need to copy your Atali, things like that. Pyroblast, some interaction spells, and you're off to the races. There's also Sticker Goblin here, which is 4 to 6 mana. Turn 1, turn 2, depending on how your mana looks. You cast Sticker Goblin, you cast Atali, and you go to town. There's also Geosurge. Geosurge is 4 red mana, can only spend on creature spells, but this will net you the mana you need for Atali. So there's tons of way to get there early. So when you're playing Atali, you're looking to cast turn 2 Atali at the latest, turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3 if you're mulling low. Then there's also the Food Chain and his partner in crime, Squee the Immortal combo. You find these with your tutors, you find these with tutors off of the other people's decks. You go infinite creature mana, infinite cast of Atali, you just keep casting it back and forth until you win the game. Molten Duplication. So after you land your Atali, you're looking to clone this with Molten Duplication, Electric Duplicate, things like that. You'll make another copy of Atali, put your other one back to the command zone, and start flipping people's decks again. It's a really fun deck to play. It plays really well in certain metas. You're looking at them and saying, do you have a Mindbreak Trap? Do you have a Risic Study out? If you don't have those things out, it's really hard to stop. You can get really unlucky with this deck. So this deck can go into a tournament, play perfectly, and Rick can go to a tournament, play perfectly, and win. Spice here, Apex Devastator, which is one of my favorite cards in all of Magic. Cascade for 10 mana. You get that pretty easily in this deck. And it's just a great card. You have Metamorphosis to sack things, sack your commander, generate mana. Infernal Plunges. If you're looking for a fun deck to get into cEDH with, this one I would recommend. So congratulations him on your win. And I bet his deck was absolutely beautiful because he has nice cards. All right, so the next deck we're going to take a look at is Colin Barnabo and their Heliod of the Radiant Dawn deck, more affectionately known as Wheeliod. They took 3rd place in this tournament. This is just Azorius colors, so blue-white. So it runs all of the great blue-white creatures, Esper Sentinel, Mockingbirds, Airy Masterminds, Gilded Drakes, Taratarus, Washi Tongs, Volatile Stormgrakes. You're stealing people's creatures. Ranger Captain Eos can be a defensive spell, can be an offensive spell. Recruiter of the Guard to find Displacer Kitten. Spell Seeker, which couples really well with Displacer Kitten, Clever Impersonator for slop, Phyrexian Metamorph for slop, Subtlety and Hullbreaker Horror so you can do a loop, and we'll get into that later. Archaic to protect yourself. It runs the entire control package you expect in a blue-white cEDH deck, counter spells, plus Commandeer. Down here it runs all of the artifact mana, including Manifold Key, Coveted Jewel, Machine God's Effigy, and then for the enchantments it runs Mystic Remora, Copy Artifact, Mirror Maid, Rhystic Study, Smothering Tide, so all the sloppy little enchantments that you expect to see in one of these decks. Make it powerful if it's not going off in general, like you can just sit there and just play normal control magic for as long as you have to. So let's just talk about how the deck works. So Heliod the Radiant Dawn is 2 white pips and 2 colorless. When Heliod the Radiant Dawn enters the battlefield, return target enchantment card that isn't a god from your graveyard to your hand. Normally you don't really care about that, but I guess if you let a fish die, a Rhystic gets countered, something like that, you can bring those back. What you're really trying to do is transform this thing as soon as possible. So for 3 colorless and a Phyrexian, so usually just 3 colorless and 2 life, you're transforming Heliod the Radiant Dawn into Heliod the Warped Eclipse. Now this card has some of the most broken Xbox you'll ever read on a Magic card. You may cast spells as though they had flash. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card your opponents have drawn this turn. Step 1, flip Heliod. Step 2, make everybody draw cards. Time Twister, Windfall, these are great ways to do this. Each opponent draws 7 cards, so you're getting a 1 cost cast reduction on all your spells. They're great little toys in this deck. Displacer Kitten, this is a great Displacer Kitten deck. You land a Displacer Kitten, you have Coveted Jewel, comes down, taps for 3 mana, you cast something, you flicker it, you draw 3 more cards, you tap it for 3 mana, you flicker it. With a cost reduction, this is free and it's just drawing your whole deck. One ring, very similar, comes down, you get protection, you tap it, draw a card, play something, flicker it, draw your deck out. Gilded Drake, steal all the stuff on their board. Same thing with Volatile Storm Drake, you'll take all the creatures and you'll get there. So how do you win your game? Generate infinite mana. Tons of ways I just showed you. There's also Hullbreaker Horror that you can start bouncing your mana positive rocks with. There is a Tezzeret the Seeker. As long as you flicker it with Displacer Kitten, which is one of the keys to the deck, you can just keep untapping artifacts, generate infinite mana. You can draw the table out with Fairy Mastermind. You have Subtlety loops, so you'll cast Hullbreaker Horror, clone it, cast a Subtlety, cast a creature spell, bounce a Subtlety, use the Subtlety to counter the creature spell, go to the top of your library, put another activation in the stack. Just rinse and repeat that over and over again until you mill the table out, hopefully under a Ranger Captain or Silence. You can use, what other spells do we have in here? Prosperity, so you can cast Prosperity. Each player draws X cards. This is a cost reducer, or is also just, hey, everybody's deck, draw them out. Normally you want to do this under Silence and Chant. So in general, it's really hard control deck with a really cool combo finish. Getting wheeled out by Heliod, like once it starts going, it's nearly impossible to stop. It does take a little bit to set up, but with the amount of control and the slop out there, I see that this is probably a pretty viable strategy right now. So congrats to Colin. I don't know the deck that well. This is one of the few cEDH decks I'd have never sleeved up and played. I've played against it a bunch, but a really cool deck. Happy to see a top 3. Congrats, Colin. All right, so the next tournament we're going to take a look at is Punt City 5. As of recording this podcast, Punt City 5 has not loaded up to EDH Top 16. But luckily for us, we had a bunch of friends playing in the event, so we know how Swiss turned out. We know how the top 4 turned out. One of the players that was number 1 in Swiss and then took second in the event overall was Charles B. Charles B is an amazing control player. Usually was on Rogish. I also was playing a lot of Blue Farm. Just a great human being, very thoughtful player. I get to play with him a lot on the Critical EDH League in the mornings. Charles is a foe of mine, I guess, there, but one of the nicest foes I've ever played against, and I'm happy to lose to him and learn as I do. Cabbage Merchant is a fantastic deck choice for a slot metagame. Charles has been playing this deck for the last month or so. He's got every angle of it. Every time you think you have him beat, he pulls out some weird win line that you didn't see coming. Cabbage Merchant sits there. You get it out turn 1, turn 2, and just cruise food. It is an underestimated deck. No one knows it's going to push, and when it pushes, it's hard to stop. And we'll get into why. It plays all the mana dorks that you expect. Bird of Paradise, Delighted Halfling, Elvish Mystic, Lantern War Elves. Plays Gilded Goose, that makes a food. It plays Elvish Spirit Guide. It plays Jaheira, Friend of the Forest, which is cool in this deck because it turns all your food and you just tap it for green mana. It plays Chancellor of the Tangle, which I think is an absolute cool card to play. So this is a way to enable a turn 1 Cabbage Merchant or turn 1 Double Dork, something along those lines. Throwing Micah Spawn, your guy's Cradle. Every green tutor you could imagine. So Green Sun Zenith, Finale Devastation, Nature's Rhythm, Eldritch Evolutions. Up here it's got Formidable Speaker. It plays Summoner's Pact, Worldly Tutor. So Archdruid's Charm, Court of Calling. It has some cool interaction pieces that you only play in green. So it's got like Rosin's Grip, Split Second, Exile Somebody's Breach, Force of Vigor, ways to protect your Cabbage Merchant and your combo pieces. It wins in really weird ways, and let's take a look at some of those wins. So one of the main pieces you're looking for is Academy Manufacture. You get this thing down. If you'd create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create one of each. Every time somebody casts a non-creature spell, you're creating 2 foods, a clue, and a treasure token. This is every time they cast a non-creature spell. You are going to generate so much value off an Academy manufacturer that you're going to put yourself in a position that it's hard to lose. One of the easiest lines to assemble in the deck is the Nuke Vending Machine. 3 mana, 1 mana tap, create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a food, create a tap treasure token. So if you have this on the board, a Peregrine Nuke on the board, if 1 or more tokens would be created under control, those foods plus an additional food token are created instead. Sacrifice 3 foods, draw a card. So if you have 3 food tokens on the battlefield already, which you probably do if you have Cabbage Merchant, and you've assembled Nuka-Cola Vending Machine and Peregrine Took, you will sacrifice 3 food tokens, draw a card. This will trigger whenever you sacrifice a food, create a tap treasure token. You'll get 3 more tokens. That will create 3 more foods. You will draw your entire deck, netting more value as you do, and be able to put a win line on the stack. God forbid there's an Academy manufacturer out as well, then it's just game over. These are the 3 cards here that once they're on the battlefield, it's just game over. Draw your entire deck, you have a ton of extra tap treasure tokens. Dark Clan Ironworks, sacrifice an artifact, add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. You'll start sacrificing your artifacts, generate infinite mana. At this point, you can Walking Ballista them out, you can Finale Devastation them out. That's one of the easiest win lines. Chrome Dome, one of the coolest cards that came out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is a 2 mana artifact creature. The artifact creatures you control get +1/+0. We don't really care about that, but we care about 5 mana. Create a token that's a copy of another target artifact you control. That token gains haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. Oh, if you have infinite mana, this is just a win condition in itself. You just copy any artifact creature a bajillion times, swing and kill the table. More often than not, you're making a copy of, say, I don't know, Academy manufacturer. This would be if you create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create one of each. You'll make a copy of this, you'll make a treasure token, you have double triggers, you'll make 6 of these things, and you'll start using Chrome Dome to copy one of these treasure tokens, which will trigger your Academy manufacturers. You'll make 3 more tokens. You can just keep going through this line until you generate infinite mana and win the way of your choice. You can also copy other really cool things like say Forge Master, right? So Forge Master, sacrifice 3 artifacts, search your library for an artifact card and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. This is 5 mana. You generate 5 mana very quickly in this deck. If this activates, you win the game is how it is. So this is how you have to treat it when you're playing against this deck. You have really cool cards like Avarice Totem. Avarice Totem, exchange control of Avarice Totem and target non-land permanent. Notably, you can put multiple activations of those on the stack and just trade it for everything. So really cool card, can just take everything from your opponent's board. Very powerful in this deck. But this is just a wildly consistent deck. One that performs well in the right hands. It's not something you probably should just pick up and try to jam into a cEDH tournament. But if you're looking for something different, if you're looking for something that plays in the slot meta, that you can't really classify. It's not really a turbo deck. It's not a control deck. It's not really a mid-range deck. It's this weird hybrid deck. Has these awesome win lines that no one sees coming. The inclusions of the 3 Shimmering Mirror, Skittering Cicada, Battlethopter, and the Emergence Zone make instant seed pushes very easy. Cabbage Merchant, it's a fantastic deck. You can't really classify it. It's not really a turbo deck. It's not really a mid-range deck. It's this weird anti-slop deck that if you're looking for something different to play, this is a cool deck. I wouldn't just pick it up. You need to know the math, but it's a lot of fun to play. It's got the Battlethopters, the Shimmering Mirrors, the Cicadas, the Emergence Zone, so it can just flash a win out of nowhere. And again, it's very hard to stop with all the interaction pieces that they have to protect their creatures. Quick reflexes with Split Second, the Royal Treatments, Autumn's Veils, the Veil Summers. So it's a very consistent deck, and I'm really happy to see it do well. First place in Swiss, second in the tournament. Congrats, Charles. I'm really happy for you. All right, so the last list we're going to take a look at is Jorman Antiguas. He took 4th place on City 5. This is a turbo TNT list, so wildly different than, say, the list Max P plays, Dirty Deeds that I play, or Jordan Drake's Cradle Farm deck. This deck is a straight turbo deck. It's looking to land a Devoted Druid early, get a swift reconfiguration on it, and just draw their deck and win the game. It's super tailored to that. It only plays 16 creatures. It plays just the mana dorks that tap for black, so Birds of Paradise, Deathrite Shaman, Elves of Deep Shadow. It plays all the good white creatures, so it plays Esper Sentinel, Grand Abolisher, Taro, Voice of Victory, Lotho to generate treasures, Cabbage Merchant to generate extra mana, Blood Caller to win at instant speed, Phantasmal Image to copy things. It doesn't play Ranger Captain because that card's too slow for this deck. Sorceries, anything of note here, Yawgmoth's Will, which is just fantastic in a turbo list. You're looking to go again after you dump your hand out for dark rituals, anything like that. Calling Ritual, because this deck can win off just black and green. It's a little late on the interaction. It's got Pact, Offer, Fierce, Mindbreak Trap. It's not paying Force of Negation because you're trying to win. You're not trying to stop other people from winning. It's on Autumn's Veil. It's on Summoner's Pact to usually go grab Devoted Druid or Elvish Spirit Guide in a pinch for an extra boost to mana. Silence Effects, Limdol's Vault, which is an oldie but goodie. Limdol's Vault lets you look at the top 5 of your library, put them back in any order, and you can pay 1 life to do that again. So when you're a turbo deck and you're trying to get your combo pieces, this is a great card. Ad Naus, all the artifact mana that you'd expect. A Vexing Bauble to shut people down when you're trying to go it off. It's got Carpet of Flowers because you're trying to get to that black mana because you are running both Necro Dominance and Necropotence. Necro Dominance isn't so bad in this deck, and Breach decks can off your Breach line sometimes. This one, you're just trying to cast a Devoted Druid and cast a Swift Recon on it and draw your deck. It's very linear, but it has a lot of cool interaction points, has a lot of silence effects. it gets there very quickly and sometimes just surprises the table. And if you're looking for a TNT build that's a little bit different and one that is fun to play, I would suggest giving this a try. So that's the tournament report for this week. Hopefully you found some new decks you can try out, some new tech you can slide in. Congrats to all the players. Fantastic results. All right, for cEDH Buzz this week, we're going to be looking over some of the spoiled Marvel superhero cards, what I think is viable for cEDH. We're not going to go over every single card. We're going to be doing another video later on that's just the top 10s once the entire set spoiled. But I thought I'd pick a couple out today that we could discuss and talk about. So first up, we'll be looking at Hex Magic. This is 3 casting cost, 1 red, 2 colorless, sorcery arcane, exile all cards from your hand, then draw that many cards. Until the end of your next turn, you may play at cards exiled this way. I think this is a great card. I think it'll be played in cEDH decks for sure. One that I think finds a home and immediately is going to be Rawl, the Monsoon Mage. This card is great when you're trying to storm off. Just having a bunch of cards in your hand that you can exile and still cast and then draw new cards is going to be a very powerful effect. We'll play anything else, maybe Rogsai, maybe a few other things, but definitely is going to find a home in Rawl. Next up, we have Fang Chi, the Master of Kung Fu. This is a 2-drop, 1 green, 1 colorless pip, legendary creature, human warrior hero. You may activate abilities of creatures you control as though the creatures had haste. And then it also has tap, add 2 mana of any color, spend this mana only to activate abilities of creature sources. So this card's going to slot right into Sisay. It's a 2-drop legendary, comes down, turns on all of your mana producers that you can search from your deck immediately. 2-drops are a very important spot in Sisay when you're looking to tutor. So this one's going to be slot right in. I think it's going to be fantastic in the deck. Sisay's got a lot of great cards. We'll probably get to another one soon, but Shang-Chi is definitely going to find a home. This one's been a lot of hype. Doom Unrivaled. It is 2 black and 2 colorless. Lifelink. Tap, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. You win even if you have 0 life or didn't draw a card. This card's fine. I think it's going to slot into some like Doomsday piles, maybe Crick, mono black decks. I think it'll enable different decks that aren't running blue for Thassa's. If they ever ban Thassa's, please don't. But if they ever ban Thassa's, maybe this is a win line. The fact that it's 4 mana that has to sit on the board for a turn before you can activate it unless you give the haste really hurts it. I don't think this card is like the Mutts Nuts. I think it's fine. And I think it'll find a home in cEDH decks that are lacking blue. What's up next? King Chala. King Chala is a blue, a white, and a colorless. It has flash. Whenever a player draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. You can transform them. I don't think you'll be transforming them much. This is like a redundant Fairy Mastermind. I'm not sure this is strong enough to see cEDH play, but it's an interesting card, something that we should keep our eye on. Maybe it finds a home. Next up, we have Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., 1 white, 5-color commander. The power-up ability I don't really care about. You notably play a lot of 5-color piles. I've gone from the God of the Tree to Terra to Mikey and Leo. I have a Scion deck built. I think this is just the better commander at this point. It's yet to be seen how much the 1 white pip will hurt, like say if you're making a turbo shell on turn 1. This is by far the best 5-color commander we've seen. So you're turning on all of your deflecting swats and Fierce Guardian chips on turn 1 and just going to town on turn 2. So I think this is a great card. I'm really excited about it. I'm definitely slotting it in. Next up, we have Jennifer Walters. Jennifer Walters is 1 white and 1 colorless. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. You can transform her, but you're probably never going to. This is another just silence effect. It is 2/3, so it's a big backside there. And I think it's going to see play in cEDH. This is definitely going to see play in Sisay. It's a 2-drop legendary creature. You can tutor it up. It's going to see play in other decks as well. I know we have a lot of these effects already. They're redundant. But in cEDH, if you're playing a 100-card deck, you're looking for redundancy. Like every time you have to tutor for something, you're slowing yourself down. If you have 6 silence effects in your deck, 7 silence effects in your deck, you're going to have 1 in your opening hand. I think, is it as good as Voice of Victory? No. Good at Grand Abolisher? No. But this card is great, and I think it's going to see cEDH play for sure. Next up, we have Mjolnir, Hammer of Thor. This was submitted by Kevin Lanik. He's one of our Zirda stands in the store, one of the best Zirda pilots I know. He's excited about this card mainly for the discard effect. So when you have Zirda out, this is a 1-mana. Discard this card. It deals 2 damage to each creature. This does not trigger Mystic Remore. Does not trigger Rhystic Study. We'll clean up the board on Rog Thras. We'll take out all the Rog Racks. I think it's just a good card for that deck. I'm not sure it's going to stay there long term, but for right now, I think it slots in. The other 2 abilities, Mjolnir enters. It deals 4 damage up to 1 target creature. That could come into handy. Double all damage equipped to creature would deal. Probably not coming in handy, but it's there. You never know in cEDH games. Sometimes turning things sideways will win you the game. Finally, today we're going to be looking at Loki, the God of Mischief. It is 1 blue and 1 colorless pip. It's a legendary creature. Whenever a player or permanent becomes the target of an ability you control, draw a card. This ability triggers once per turn. Kind of a fixed Nadu, right? Like the once per turn ability will hurt. But Displacer Kitten just draws your deck. I know there's a million cards that do this with Displacer Kitten, but this one's only 2 mana. It's blue. Maybe it finds a home, maybe it doesn't, but it's something worth watching for sure. That's what we got from the Marvel cards today. Again, we're going to be doing a full video when all the cards are spoiled and going through top 10 lists. But for now, here's 5. I hope you like. All right, so as I mentioned last week, we are going to be attending the Siege 10K in Colorado on June 13th and 14th. This event is selling out. It is at 270 players at the time I started recording this. It'll cap at 300. This is an amazing event. You should book your ticket right now. If you're in driving distance, say within 10 hours, get in the car, start driving. If you want to fly into the airport, take the train up. This is a can't miss cEDH event, and there's going to be a ton of really cool people there. I'll be there. If you want to come up and say hi, come up and say hi. If you want to jam a game after the tournament, I will happily jam a game after the tournament, but this is one you can't miss. All right, so I wanted to take a second and give a shout out to Critical EDH and their monthly leagues. This is not an event, but it's a fantastic tool for cEDH players and Magic players in general. I'm not partnered with them. I'm not sponsored by them, but I do stream this league every single day, and I have so for probably the last 5 or 6 months. When I started, there was about 200 to 300 players in the league. Now there's up to over 600. There's thousands and thousands of games jammed every week at all times of day. So whenever you sign on, you will find a game. You'll find a game with very good players, which is very important in your Magic journey. So if you're looking to get better at this game, if you're looking to take the next step, the best way to do that is play against better players. You're sitting down at these tables with some of the best in the world. You're playing different decks, a variety of decks. So if you're cooking your locals, but then going to a larger tournament and getting cooked, this league is for you. One of the best parts about this too is it's relatively free. Like it's $5 a month for their Patreon. They always partner with people like Gold Sabertooth, Wizard and Warlocks, the Casting Couch podcast. Like if you want to join this league, all you have to do is support one of the creators you already support. You'll be able to jam games all day. You'll be able to learn from better players, learn how to win, learn how to lose, learn how to sequence things correctly. There's no better tool that I can recommend to get better at cEDH than the Critical EDH monthly leagues. Just do a quick search for Critical EDH. They have fantastic content. Join the Discord, shuffle up, and you'll see me on there daily. Check it out. All right, guys, so that's what we got for the episode today. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry we were a day late. We had some technical issues yesterday that we had to resolve. Check out our Mox field if you haven't yet. This has got all our decks listed on it, a bunch of 2 deep decks, a bunch of my decks, and things that I'll be running at upcoming tournaments. But we'll be back again next week. I think next week we're going to have a special guest on, so check that out, and I will let you know how I did at the Siege. So everybody have a good weekend, play nice with each other, and just be good human beings. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.